Just arfo se si amene mo ka se de Ghana nsoro ayehu so ade ase mates any driver nsoro ahin omo mpe bibi ndwudwu omo ho a ade ekotia omo wu ato chese guest house get report ro ebrel na yentie report a free attorney general so eba
Attorney General smiles as Hanan gets disappointed in court today over travel. Hanan Alodiba is this gentleman here. At a point, he was the boss of NAFCO for close to 8 years. That Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was in power. He went to school in Tamale, in Accra, and also in China. In fact, he was one of the most qualified for that position. But according to investigators and state prosecutors, he was a thief whilst he was in there. Stole so much money from the state, embezzled money, laundered money, and he bought himself a lot of luxuries, including houses, cars, watches, perfumes, and so on and so forth. This is Hanan Abdul Wahab Alodiba. At a point, he wanted to run for MP. My brother, if these allegations are anything to go by, we would have had yet another thief in parliament. But he failed. We saw him in Mecca with his wife. Probably they traveled there with stolen money, our money. This is Abdul Wahab Hanan Alodiba. They've been going to court on these allegations. In fact, at a point, the Attorney General pulled back the whole suit and then rearrested him and put back the same suit, removing just a few things. Probably at that point, Hanan realized that time to go to jail was so close, so he needed to be smart. According to state prosecutors, Hanan decided to get smart. What did he do? He decided to book a doctor's appointment online, which is not for emergency services. But he had been able to get a certain travel order given to him or permitted him to travel outside the country to seek doctor's attention after his bank accounts had been frozen and also some of his properties frozen. He succeeded in getting the courts to free up about 4 of his properties unfrozen and given back to him, at least whilst investigations were going on. My brother, my sister, the Accra High Court had a sitting by my very good brother and friend, Francis Archibonga Akpangabuno. Justice Francis Archibonga Akpangabuno. Give him that chance to travel. And he was supposed to fly out of the nation between the 4th of July and the 12th of July. He had 8 days. He asked, and he got 8 days to travel outside and have his eyes fixed. Now the doctors who wrote, and this is my very good brother and friend, Justice Francis Archibonga Akpangabuno. He's a no-nonsense judge. As we have been told, he has no time for time wasting. This is the man. My brother, my sister. Now see what happened now. At the Accra High Court, he was asked to go and seek redress for his eyes, medical attention, between the 4th of July and the 12th of July. And when he got it, he quickly, according to prosecutors, went to the Laboni branch of the Republic Bank to scoop out all his money from his account. And he told the bankers that he had been given the authority to do that the account had been frozen by the courts, and he tried to use a fake document. In fact, it's a correct document, but it is not for that purpose. It is just the properties, the 4 that I mentioned earlier, that were actually defrozen and not the bank account. So, before then, investigators looked into the future and realized that Hanan, now that he had 8 days to travel, might just be running away like Kenoforiata. So they wrote to all the banks where he had his accounts and warned them not to give him any money because they remained frozen. And true to their words and their conjectures, he went there and he was refused the money. But he was still able to raise some money, according to him, some 7,000 pounds. And then he went to the airport trying to fly. That was when he realized that he had been put back on the stop list. Frustrated, in his own words, he had gone through immigration, gone through everything, and went to sit down quietly, waiting for his flight. That was when immigration and BNI came with handcuffs dangling in front of him and carried him away into custody. They appeared in court today, my brother, my sister, before my very good brother and friend, the most learned, no-nonsense judge, Justice Francis Archibunga Apangabuno, and the Honorable Justice Dr. Sremsai appeared, and he tried. All he wanted to do was to pray the court to annul whatever they had given to Hanan to travel out of the country, because he was trying to abscond from whatever information they had. But when he started speaking, the judge said, "What are you talking about? When was he supposed to fly and when was he supposed to return?" And he said he was supposed to fly by the 4th of July and return by the 12th of July. He said, "What is today's date?" And he mentioned, he said, "It is past that time. So there's no stop order. The period is past." Hanan looked in awe. So it looked like the national apparatus had been able to hold Hanan until his period of travel elapsed. And they succeeded in keeping him back in this country for the very good reasons that they believe. His lawyer, Godfred Dame, was not too happy. And he said that his client had had his human rights trampled upon. His passport was seized, his money, and all that. And these people intentionally kept him until his travel window expired, and they came to court trying to stop it when it had already stopped automatically. My brother, my sister, well, the judge made it clear there's nothing to sit on. The period has elapsed. What is Godfred Dame going to do? Is he going to go back to court and tell the judge, "You know what? We are going to apply for a new one to allow Hanan to go"? By what time? My brother, my sister, the authorities would have also been present to give reasons why Hanan should not be given the chance to travel outside the country, because he allegedly tried to abscond. Hanan left the court very disappointed. He wouldn't be able to see his doctors. His doctors in Ghana have already said that he needs eye drops, only eye drops for his Apollo 14. Because what he has no cure. When you reach a certain age, you get things like that. They wrote that. The 2 doctors that he visited. Was he truly trying to run away? Why was he trying to scoop up his money? Well, Iyoko said, "Your money is with us. All the series of the notes have been written down. Your passport is also with us." My brother, my sister, as it stands right now, Hanan is so frustrated. He can't travel anymore. The travel window is closed. what would his lawyers do? Go back to court and ask for a new chance to travel? By what time the Zwarungu boy would have been there with his huge cigar in his mouth after drinking Kramai Krakra, Kramai Nkrakra, to stand before the judge and say, you know what? No, this shouldn't happen. Are we trying to truly avoid another Ken Oforiatta situation? Another Sedina Tamakluation situation? In my opinion, yes. Or do you believe there's a political witch hunt? But for now, Hanan is grounded in Ghana. In disappointments. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo. And here, we speak truth to power.
Yes, Arafo, Yantu answer so what is answer and fa Emamoy. Yet Chemo, Asam Kessi Bisro Aquacusi. Na Edianesi, driver and maid found dead in Koko hotel room. Manager and security guard arrested. So what you say? I driver and mates Aqua Cope Hotel be a down Koko, Adetia Omunina, and non to security, any manager, Yachuom. And I did my dear Sim Dobia Sibisia be Macram Bye.